Hello and welcome to this week's issue of BRN United. I so much appreciate the comments and feedback that we've received, and I do hope you find this valuable and inspiring and occasionally entertaining. I wanted to talk a little bit of shop this week. You've heard us share many times that our vision is glorifying God by fostering spiritual transformation of persons and communities with the gospel. And you've heard us talk about how we strive to live out that vision with discover, develop, deploy through our three functional teams of missional living, of multiplying churches, and of healthy churches. Today, what I want to talk about is how does that really work at a practical level with the BRN staff. 3 times a year, we gather in what we call a RAFT meeting, which stands for Regional and Functional Teams. In those meetings, we gather as functional teams and we gather as regional teams to work on how we can best service our churches. For instance, the functional teams will gather and they'll talk about strategies for, like in church planting with Barry Whitworth, they'll be talking about where they see the movement of God for opportunities for planting churches. They'll talk about ways to strengthen how we train the church planters and also how we can do a better job of assessing and providing coaching for them. Larry Anderson with the Healthy Churches team will talk about some of the key initiatives that are coming up in the coming months, such as the BRN Advantage and the pastor clusters. And then Pam Smith will discuss with her missional living team the churches that are engaging in the missional journey and what are some stories of churches that are really engaging in their community outside of the walls of where the church may gather for worship and for study. So we spend some time with our functional teams. We also then spend some time with our regional teams. And in those meetings, the point person from each of the functional teams, for instance, in the West, we have Kevin Roberts as the point person for Pam Smith with the Missional Living team. Cliff Jenkins is the point person for Barry Whitworth in Multiplying Churches. And Kim Gruser, David Ludwig are the point people to assist Dr. Larry Anderson with Healthy Churches. They get together and what they talk about is what are some of the events, the activities, the strategies, the initiatives that each of the functional teams are taking or in that region, and how can we coordinate the dates, the places, the flow of that, as well as how can we find some things that we can do together. So for instance, coming out of these discussions, with the Healthy Churches team, Larry Anderson and his team have begun to open up the BRN Advantage gathering so that it is not just for Healthy Churches initiatives. Pam Smith is a part of that. We have church planting represented in that. So those regional teams give us an opportunity to evaluate, are there things in our region that the functional team strategy is not addressing, and how can we do a better job of collaborating and communicating? I find that these 3 gatherings each year have become the heartbeat of how we as BRN are striving to better service the churches that are part of our network and family. And if you have ideas or suggestions or have questions, please let me know or some of our team leaders know, because our desire is to service you by fostering spiritual transformation to the glory of God so that every person, every community is impacted with the gospel of Jesus Christ, and that we might see a great awakening take place prayerfully beginning here in Penn, South Jersey. Oh, one other quick word. A couple of weeks ago, I referenced how excited I was to be signing off on a check to send to Southern Baptist Mission Causes through the Executive Committee in Nashville, a check for over $36,000. Well, I just got the check for April, and I wanted to share an update with you. For the month of April, we sent over $73,000 to mission causes through the Cooperative Program, Annie Armstrong, Lottie Moon, Global Hunger, making a difference for Christ around the world. Man, I am humbled and honored to be a part of a family that cares not just for what happens here, but for what happens around the world. Thank you, and thank you for your faithfulness. And I pray that you have a blessed day and God shows His favor on your ministry this week. And I'll talk to you again next week. Thank you, and God bless.